Moms, have you seen that quiver in their eyes? It happens. The quiver, the frown, the storm is brewing. Your child's overwhelmed and you are just bracing. Like you can feel yourself bracing for that meltdown. You want to help them. You want to raise a kid that can handle those big feelings. But right now, in this moment, you just wish they had the words to tell you what the heck was going on. That's exactly why Constance Lewis created the book, Miles and His Colorful Cape of Feelings. Born from her journey of parenting with children with complex needs, this book uses colors, capes, and creative ways to help your kids name their big feelings and to help parents like you and moms like you actually connect in the moment. If you've ever wondered how to teach your kids emotions in the ways that work, even in your busy, this conversation is going to be your go-to right now. Mamas, welcome to the Mama Geniuspreneur podcast, where real stories spark real transformations for moms ready to bring their vision to life. I'm Michelle DeKaiser, a mom of three, entrepreneur, and your biggest cheerleader if you've ever felt pulled to create something bigger, whether it's a business, a book, or a movement, but also felt the weight of daily life slowing you down. You are not alone. In just 15 minutes, we'll dive into insights, strategies, and real stories for women like you. Let's bring your visions to life, starting now. Constance Lewis is a women's health nurse practitioner, fertility coach, pediatric sleep coach, and author of Miles and His Colorful Capes of Feelings, drawing from her professional expertise and a personal journey raising 3 kids through infertility and medical challenges. Constance empowers parents to help their children express emotions in creative, meaningful ways. Her work blends healthcare insight with heartfelt stories, because that's how we all learn, to promote emotional literacy and connection with families. Welcome to the Mama Genius Hub podcast, Constance. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
We got to do it in 15 minutes. So we're going to dive right in. What is your why behind wanting to really pull out these emotions and being able to have these conversations with kids?
Oh, I love that question. So our son, Miles, who's now 7, at the age of 4, started having seizures out of nowhere. And it was just traumatic. And we lived in this state of fight or flight for basically 2 years, not knowing when the next seizure was going to come. And they kept getting worse and more frequent, and the different medications and the doctor's appointments. We realized that he needed to have brain surgery, which he did. And through all of that, he was a very emotionally intelligent child and was able to tell us, even at the age of 2, I'm mad, I'm angry, I'm going to go do angry chalk, I'm going to go stomp it out, or I'm sad, can we dance and pick a song? So we had taught him that at a really early age. But then once he started having seizures, he lost the ability post-seizure or right before a seizure, or even with these medications that really brought him down and changed the way he thought, to express himself with words. And so we thought, how can we help him learn a better way to tell us how he's feeling without words? We know there's a lot of kids out there that can't use their words or don't know how to. So we thought about colors. He loved to dress up as superheroes and wear capes when he was little. He's 7 now. He's starting to grow out of it, which makes me sad. But when he was 4, he just loved it. He always had a cape on. He always had a superhero outfit on. So we thought, if we could pair colors with emotions and then turn it into something he loves, which was superheroes and capes, then maybe he can just put on a color of a cape or something else of that nature, and we would know how he's feeling in the moment, and we can help him through it and give him the tools he needed to get through that without words.
Wow. First of all, just as a mom, like just brain surgery, all the things that you went through and the way that you use that to pull together to bring forth this almost like a new type of language, I want to say,
Yes.
because giving kids a way to express without necessarily having to have the words or just to be able to pick that through. So I want to pull us back to that beginning story that we started about. Like, you can see it in your kid, and that meltdown is just about to incur, and you can almost feel that, mom, you're in the headlights. What do I do? And so I just want to take us back into that situation, and let's start from there and move forward.
Yes, exactly. So I always used to get really uncomfortable when any of my kids, I have a 2-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 7-year-old, and my daughter, who's a 5-year-old, tends to have the big emotions. And this actually really works for her because she even has a hard time finding her words in that moment. And so I used to get so uncomfortable with these big emotions. I would get anxious and stressed, and I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? And I try anything to get them out of this moment as quick as I can. And then I started to realize that reaction isn't helpful and it actually makes it worse. And so I've worked really hard over the last couple of years of how to calm my body and myself in that moment and how to respond to them in a way that wasn't anxious and wasn't rushing them out of that feeling. And so I really focused on that with writing the book as well. And when I go on podcasts, I talk a lot about how in that moment that your child starts getting that feeling and you know it's getting ready to come, you know that big emotion is coming out. How do you center yourself? How do you stay present? Not take it personally, take a deep breath and just get curious about why they're having this reaction. Like, why are they tired? Are they hungry? Are they overstimulated? Like, why are they having this reaction? Become curious. And that helps you stay in the moment and lean into that emotion. And if they can tell it to you easier with a color, then that really, I think, lends into your toolbox and you can go straight to your toolbox of things that we recommend to pull into when your kid is having that tantrum. And it also helps you stay grounded, I think. If you know you have a toolbox of things to help your child work through this emotion, you don't take it personally. You don't get so overwhelmed and you can just say, okay, here's my toolbox. What do I think my child needs in this moment?
I love that you just said the idea of take it personally, because I think that's where it comes into, especially if it happens in a public area. The anxiety comes on because you're so worried about what are they going to think of me as a parent.
Yes.
And that anxiety just starts to build even further. It's really about their emotions and it's not necessarily a reflection of you. And just put that out there because that usually causes a lot of the anxiety in the first place. It's not necessarily what the kid's doing, but when you're in a place, it's like, what are others going to think of me?
Yes, exactly. It's so true. And I always used, and I still do feel like this. Sometimes I try to not feel like that as much, but I do. I think I look around, I'm like, what is everybody going to think? I'm a terrible mom. My kid's a horrible kid. And you just get, even in your own home, if you have family members over, you feel,
especially,
oh my gosh, they're judging.
Waste the strangers you can hide from.
Exactly. I'm never going to see them again. So I think that I really have focused on thinking like, I'm not going to take this personally. All kids have meltdowns. Period. Adults have meltdowns, for goodness sakes, right? So it's like, how can I just focus on myself in this moment, staying calm and present and giving my kids the tools they need to work through this emotion as they need to. And sometimes it takes longer than others. I feel like I used to always try to rush them through it. Hurry up. It's okay. Stop crying. Pick them up. Drag them away. Just try to do whatever I can to get out of that moment and away from these other people that are staring at me. But I found that actually makes it worse. So I try really hard to focus on what can I do in the moment to allow them to feel the feelings, be there for them, however long it takes.
And we're going to dive more into this in just a moment.
Are you a mompreneur who feels a fire to create something bigger, a business, a movement, a message, but you don't want to do it alone? That's why I've created the Mama Genius Hub, a space where your vision is nurtured, your voice is heard, and your dreams grow alongside a supportive community. Inside the hub, you'll get bite-sized insights and strategies in 15-minute sessions. A community of like-minded moms who truly get it. Support to bring your vision to life without burnout. If ready to build your business and impact while staying true to yourself, join us today at connectingmamas.com. Your calling matters. Let's grow it together.
I love that we're having this conversation because a lot of times it really is. I've been focusing on this a lot. It is that sometimes it really doesn't matter what others think of you. It matters what you think others are thinking of you.
Yes, so true.
Because there might be disconnect with any of that, but it always comes down to, because the same reaction from a different person, from someone who's watching you, it depends on how you respond to that no matter what. And so the same thing's happening when we're dealing with our children as well. And then we add in that aspect of being in public or wherever it is. And like you said, sometimes it's worse at home when you have the family members who want to step in. I feel like it always is that reaction to dissipate it.
Yeah, immediately. Stop it as soon as you can. Yeah. But kids don't really have a timeline for their feelings and their emotions, honestly. And really, adults shouldn't either. I feel that sometimes we try to rush ourselves out of our emotions or not feel them or pass by them. But I've always been told and felt this deeply that we should walk through our emotions because it actually helps on the other side. It doesn't come back up later. And so I think for our kids, rushing them to try to dissipate it as fast as possible is what you want to do because you want them to feel better. Parents want our kids to feel better. We don't want them to be sad or mad or hurt or frustrated. That feels yucky to parents inside. But in order to learn how to trust yourself and your body in that moment and know what to do during that moment, they have to feel those feelings to learn that emotion and to build emotional resilience.
I wholeheartedly agree. Now, I obviously, and a lot of people learn better through stories or examples, right? So I'd love for you to like give an example of a situation and walking your child through that emotion or whatever you give us.
Yeah. So you have to start teaching them first before you try to jump into a toolbox full of techniques with your kids. So you have to do a lot of prep work, and that takes time. So I always start out with my kids. I say, listen, you have all these emotions. Even if they're 2, you can ask them, what color, when you feel mad, what color would you like to wear? So it's always about prepping. So have the conversation with them first when you're feeling an emotion. Mad, angry, sad, frustrated. And when they're little, you might only pick a couple: sad, mad, right? Because littles don't know all the emotions yet. As the older they get, you can add on different emotions: jealous, scared, nervous, silly, cheerful. I would just write a list of emotions that you tend to see in your kid. I would have them pick the color that goes with the emotion that they think goes with it. And then you say to them, when you're feeling this emotion, you can put on this superhero cape if they like capes. My daughter likes tutus, so she'll put on a tutu when she feels sad. She'll put on her blue tutu when she feels sad, and I know. So you can just give them whatever they love. You can give them that color. You can give them that tool. You can say, you can go put this on in your room. So prep, education. And then you can say to them, when you're feeling in this moment, whatever emotion it is, here's a couple things we can do. So in our house, when they're feeling sad, I'll ask them if they want music. What kind of music would you like to listen to? And we'll dance. Dancing is and even when you're mad, you can dance. When you're happy, you can dance. Music is wonderful for every emotion. It's a physical outlet and release through movement.
Do they pick certain songs, or is it like, I'm just curious?
Yeah, they pick certain songs for the way they're feeling. And it really is amazing to hear how they match the music with their emotions. Yeah, we find music in our family very important. So we're always playing music in our house. We have salsa Saturdays, we have reggae Sunday. Like we do jazz, we do a lot of meditation music. So I'm always playing music in the house. And so they love music. And so they're always putting music into different emotions. We do angry chalk or angry coloring. So if they get mad at each other or at me or whatever, they'll go and they'll sit on the ground and they'll scribble really hard. And they're like, I'm doing angry chalk. And they just scribble or they color really hard. And so that's another physical way to get out that anger with a healthy way. We've taught them to go into their room and scream into their pillows, or even throw their stuffies. I always say to them, you can only throw balls outside of the house, or you can throw your stuffies in your room if nobody's in there if you're mad, or you have all this built up energy. So they know they'll go in their rooms and they'll scream in their pillows or they'll throw their stuffies. We do with my 2-year-old. If you're mad, you stomp like a dinosaur and we'll walk around the house and stomp. And we actually do belly breathing with him. He is the best of belly breathing. We'll say, I see you're upset. I see you're mad, buddy. Let's take some deep breaths. And he'll go, but it's all about prep. So you have to tell them and teach them and work on it before the anger or before the big feeling comes.
I'm loving this so much, and you're giving us such great tips. And unfortunately, we're almost out of time. So I'd love for everyone to tell them how they can get a hold of you. And I know your book is releasing today, so congratulations. So tell us all about it.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy and exciting. So Andre and I wrote a book, Miles and the Colorful Capes of Feelings. It is out on Amazon today. Today is launch day. It's huge. It's so amazing. It's about Miles's journey, and he gives a cape to each one of his friends and how they're feeling throughout the week. And then at the end of the week, he does go to the hospital for his brain surgery. It doesn't put the brain part in there, but it's for surgery and how he walks through that emotions. And it's amazing. So it's on Amazon, Miles and Colorful Capes of Feelings. We also have a website, wcolorfulcapesoffeelings.com. And I think she's going to put it all in the show notes. We also have an Instagram page. So we have a lot. You can find me there. And the freebie is a parenting guide of when kids have big emotions. So it's parent scripts for navigating big feelings with colorful capes. And soon we're going to have free coloring pages on the website.
Woo-hoo. Yeah. We're going to put you backstage real quick for some takeaways. It's amazing what we can get done in 15 minutes. And I want this to stick through your busy minds that we can get stuff done in 15 minutes. So what are some wonderful takeaways just from this brief podcast? Number one is we feel so uncomfortable in the big emotions. So the first step is really how to regulate yourself and to start getting comfortable by staying present and being curious with what's going on. Number two was then knowing that you can identify emotions with colors, and you can start to create that toolbox, which can take away some of that anxiety from you as a parent, but then giving your kids the tools to really become that. And then number three, a lot of times it doesn't matter what you think, it only matters what you think others think about you. And so it really comes down to really not taking it personally to what your kids are doing, because it's about their emotions, whatever happened to them. It may or may not even happen because something you did, but you take on that responsibility of it. And so it's really focusing on their emotion and however long it takes for them to get through it, which then leads us into number four. There is no timeline for the emotions, right? We have to walk through our emotions. We do, they do. And it's really trying to learn how to trust your body in the moment and gain the tools to really create that. And then number five is really about that prep work, is really about having those conversations, identifying what emotions go with that color, giving them, if they want a tutu, if they want a cape, or if they want whatever colors to represent, maybe it's a stuffy, they give different stuffies for each of their emotions, whatever ideas or whatever things that they like, but giving them a means to give them another way to explain it when they don't want to use their words as well. And so it's really about just having that conversation with each other and doing all the prep work and doing the prep work for yourself as well. So you're able to stay grounded in their big emotions. What's your final takeaway for us, Constance?
Oh, I love that. My final takeaway is that you are doing an amazing job as a parent and a mompreneur. It is so hard. I literally get an hour to 2 hours a day to work. And so if you can navigate the feelings part with your kids, and the more you do it and the more emotional resilient that they become, the less big emotions and tantrums they have, and the more you can focus on your work, which is also very important, right? The less you're in a difficult moment with them. So that's my big takeaway, is do the prep work and work on it in the beginning, and in the end you'll build emotionally resilient, beautiful, you're going to raise beautiful kids anyways, but just emotionally resilient adults, which is what we want.
I love that so much. And it really just comes down to really coming into yourself and getting those emotions out there. So community, because you're not alone in this anymore.
No.
We're here to help give tools, be there with you, for you. So come join us, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye, everyone.
That's a wrap for today's episode, Mama. I hope you found something in these 15 minutes that sparked action towards your dreams. Remember, your purpose matters, your dreams are valid, and you are not alone. If today's conversation spoke to you, come join us at the Mama Genius Hub, where you'll find support, strategy, and sisterhood to turn your calling into real impact. Let's grow this together at connectingmamas.com. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. If this resonates with you, share it with another mompreneur who needs to hear this. We'll see you next time.